30A, Section 20, the public will not be allowed to physically access this school committee meeting. This meeting will be conducted remotely via Zoom technology. For instructions to follow this meeting live, see the notice of meeting posted on the whittiertech.org. We're going to do a roll call for attendance. Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Wood? Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. LaBella?
Yes.
Mr. Tucker? Mr. Irving?
Here.
Dr. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mr. O'Connor? Mr. James?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. True?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald? Mr. Lesage? Okay, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public comment. Is there any public comment here? No. Well, comments can be emailed in advance of the 6:30 p.m. start time to lran@whittier.tech.ma.us. All comments will be recorded to the record, and all attempts will be made to mention them live during the meeting. Any emails received during the meeting before the public comment period ends will also be attempted to be mentioned. Approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
I can't do all in favor. We have to do a roll call vote. All roll call. Mr. Wood, Mr. Early,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. LaBella,
Yes.
Mr. Irving,
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Mrs. True.
Yes.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
Move to accept.
Second.
Okay, any questions, comments? Roll call vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. LaBella,
Yes.
Mr. Irving,
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Mrs. True.
Yes.
Old business, we have no old business posted. Reports and communications. Alyssa, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and all your school. Schools USA is currently preparing to participate in the March 11th District 4 Conference and Qualifying event. This year, districts will be held here at Whittier with students taking their respective tests online rather than traveling to grade level for a full day of activities. Results will be released on March 18th. Students who qualify will be eligible to compete in the state conference to be held on April 30th at Blackstone Valley. The Interact Club worked with the Key Club, student government, and peer-to-peer, and were able to distribute over 500 cards to 4 nursing homes, as well as Salisbury Meals on Wheels. They're hoping to run another card distribution for Valentine's Day. DECA is currently competing virtually at the district competition. They're completing their role play scenarios today and will complete testing by January 19th. We will know shortly after which students will advance to the state competition, which will also be held virtually. The Multicultural Club had a great December 17th meeting where they shared virtual Secret Santa gifts with one another. In addition, they read and discussed Whittier's bullying and hazing policy and signed the policy. The last meeting, they met in breakout rooms to discuss their vacations and any other issues that were pertinent. Issues included understanding the day's events of Wednesday, January 6th at the Capitol. They ended on a good note and will continue to discuss world and local issues and how to best understand them. The Chess Club has been meeting each week on remote Mondays. They have around 20 members with 10 students showing up virtually to compete. They are hoping to get students more involved. Peer leaders continue to meet bi-weekly. During the last meeting, they discussed leaders that they admire in their lives. This was used by students to develop a list of essential leadership qualities. Key Club has been working to build a meeting schedule that is consistent and convenient for all the students, as well as trying to work out community service ideas that keep the students safe. They partnered with the Interact Club, Student Council, and and the other clubs in the school to provide holiday cards for people in the community. They were delivered to various elderly housings, as well as the Meals on Wheels program in Salisbury. It was a success, and the Key Club is planning to do something similar for Valentine's Day. Model UN will be meeting again January 19th at 2 o'clock via Google Meet. They will be debating the question, can renewable energy replace fossil fuels? Following the debate, they will introduce the next topic area, and countries will be assigned for their first international debate. Model UN will also discuss possible participation in virtual UN conferences later this spring. GSA continues to meet on Mondays. They receive updates from the Massachusetts GSA Leadership Council. They are preparing for the next virtual meet, which will be held on Tuesday, February 9th. Student government continues to meet bi-weekly with representatives from each class. They are currently promoting the upcoming Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, with daily announcements by student representatives about the life and lasting impact of his work. These pieces were written by the members of the student government as well. They currently have about 20 participating members and are looking forward to planning more student activities to promote school spirit over. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Alyssa? All right.
I just had one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just had one question. Are you still doing the student magazine, or is that?
No, I'm not.
No, okay, not virtually. I was hoping maybe it would be virtual. No, okay.
No.
All right, just wondering. Anyway, I'm just so glad that you guys are doing, that the students are doing community service activities. That I'm thrilled and amazed that they're able to do that safely, and I think it's wonderful. I'm so glad that we're continuing that legacy. Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Superintendent's report.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Before you tonight, for informational purposes, I have before you a position for the Breathe program, clerical support for our health office, which you can imagine is very busy right now. Budget update, the executive subcommittee met earlier this evening to discuss the FY22 budget. At the meeting, we began with a 4.49% increase. And that will be reduced at our next executive subcommittee meeting. MCAS update for junior students has been postponed with no new dates at this time. As of now, the plan for grade 10 students is for them to take both the English and Math MCAS in May 2021. And grade 9 students would take the biology MCAS in June 2021. On Thursday, December 10th, December 17th, and January 7th, I attended the remote MAVA Superintendent CTE Directors meeting. On Friday, December 11th, I attended the remote Capital Skills Grant spending check-in. We did receive a Capital Skills Grant for about $300,000 for CAD drafting and for our engineering program. And the move was, as we discussed last year, was to move those programs over to Northern Essex Community College, providing more space for us and having our students right on a college campus. And then COVID-19 happened, and all of that came to a screeching halt. So we're working with the state about that grant right now. On Monday, December 14th, I attended a remote admissions discussion between MAVA officers and other vocational schools. I mentioned earlier, our application pool is down about 20% this year. We're not doing open house. We're not doing tours. I think people aren't really thinking about next year. We're just trying to get through this year. So the guidance staff and administrators are working to provide more outreach to increase our applications for next year. On Monday, January 11th, I attended the MAVA quarterly officers meeting. On Tuesday, January 12th, I took part in the interview process for the early college program designation program with DESE's Associate Commissioner Cliff Chuang and the Undersecretary of Education, Bob LePage, along with Tia Gerber, Patty Lowell, Kelly Fay, and Chris Laganis. We are waiting to see if our district will be designated as an early college program, and we're very hopeful that this will happen. I need to say Patty Lowell and Tia Gerber have what I call grit. They have really tried to make this happen for our kids. And every time an obstacle has come their way, they've worked through that obstacle and challenge. And so we're hopeful. that the state will designate us as an early college program. As you know, COVID-19 is in our community right now. I have Haverhill is up, has 10.73%. It's a decrease over the last week's total, but they are in the red. Groveland is in the red. They're at 12.18%. Ipswich is in the red. They have 5.72%, and there's an increase. Amesbury, 7.99%, and they are in the red. West Newbury is in the yellow at 5.15%. Newbury is in the red at 6.74%. Rowley is at 7.67%, and they are in the red. Newburyport is in the yellow at 4.5%. Merrimack is in the red at 8.4%. Salisbury is in the red at 10.06%. And Georgetown is in the red at 7.09%. So there is a lot of community COVID in our communities, our 11 communities. But I'm happy to say right now, we feel that we can operate our schools safely as long as people are following the safety protocols of 6 feet, wearing masks, washing hands. We are not, while we have had students that have been positive, we are not seeing spread here in the building. So that is a really good thing. And I think the fact that we set up our students in cohorts, that students are together, there's not a lot of walking in hallways, they're not eating lunch here, are some of the reasons why we've been able to stay in school so long, while many of our communities have had to move to fully remote. We continue to want to bring back our students, especially for the vocational technical areas. It is really hard to teach carpentry through a computer. They really need the hands-on approach. So I'm happy to report that we will be having sophomore and junior vocational students return to school on Mondays during their vocational week. We'll be sending out something to students and parents this week explaining the return to vocational training on Mondays. They will be separated by week, but they will be in their A and B cohorts together. So we will have a quarter of the students in the building at any one time. We'll be starting this on Monday, January 25th, and this will give our students an opportunity to have 3 days of vocational training a week, increasing their participation in their training by a third monthly. The state is offering pool testing for schools, and you might have seen it in the media. We've had several meetings discussing the pros and cons of moving forward with this type of testing. We've met with our nursing staff, school physician, president of our teachers union, and administrators to discuss. We will continue to move forward with getting information. But we're not sure if this will be a worthwhile endeavor, so a final decision has not been made. Are there any questions I can answer?
Has there been any thought or discussion about teachers' vaccine?
I'm sad to say no, we have not heard anything. I have volunteered Whittier as a regional district to help dispense vaccines to staff in our communities with the commissioner, but we've yet to hear back if that's the avenue they're going. We have not heard a plan, but I did throw that out there as an option. So we'll see. I'm meeting with the mayor of Haverhill on Friday of possibly using Whittier as a site to vaccinate the community, but you know, those plans are still being put in place.
Good. Thank you.
Any more questions? Principals report, Mr. Laganis.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and rest of the school committee members. As you've heard, our Whittier community continues to move forward. We're in a hybrid learning model, going pretty strong. Once again, I thank everybody for their teamwork. And again, we can be proud on how we're responding and adapting to all these challenges. You know, we talk about the hybrid schedule. We continue to remind students and staff to stay 6 feet apart, including the mask breaks, and strictly follow all protocols at all times. And obviously that's happening. And also like Ms. Lynch said, we're preparing for the next phase of bringing students back during the vocational week. The sophomores and juniors, again, will be back on that Monday, the 25th, and more to come. If you can believe it, we're closing in on February midterms, believe it or not, and term 2 will be ending around that time. So that's how fast things are going. Kevin Welch, our cafeteria manager, we thank him and his staff having set up the remote Mondays, pickup sites for breakfast and lunch every Monday in January, and we still have the 18th and the 25th from 10 to noon at the Poets Inn entrance. Meals are provided for the 7 days for our families in need. So we reach out and thank Kevin Welch and his crew for doing that every Monday last December as well as January. Also, you heard from Melissa, the virtual clubs, they're successful. And I have to say, even though they're very difficult to run, they have been somewhat successful so far. Student government, it's been a lot of fun when the kids are in school, which is, our goal. And we've had, as Alyssa said, Martin Luther King week in the morning announcements starting at 7:50. I've had 2 freshmen the last couple days talking about Martin Luther King and the significance, and the 2 of them have knocked it out of the park in the morning. These are freshmen new to the school from actually Hunking Middle School. So I congratulate them, and I look forward to showing up tomorrow morning. I have a blast with them. United Nations, as you heard, they're also, with the virtual debates, and they're debating each other right now. But hopefully the goal is to go after and participate against other schools. And one thing, I reached out to the chess club advisor, and he said that, they're still working on some of the technical things, if you can imagine playing chess online in the program. But otherwise, it's a great time. And here's the key. It's wonderful to see the students involved again. So we thank all the club members and the advisors and everybody involved in getting that going. And finally, to all the Whittier students and staff, let's continue that positive energy and move forward. Thank you to all.
Any questions for Mr. Laganis? Thank you. Moving on, business manager, Kara.
You're on mute, Kara.
Oh, sorry about that. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and members of the committee. It is, believe it or not, 6 months into the fiscal year, and as such, you have your midway variance report in your packet. As you can see, we're doing very well financially. We do have some funds that are going to be available for us to use to try to purchase things this year to help reduce next year's budget. As Ms. Lynch said earlier, we'll be coming back to the second executive subcommittee meeting budget with a smaller percent than we presented to them tonight. And part of that includes using some of the savings that we have this year to buy supplies and materials and equipment early and put them in storage for next year. You might ask why we have some balances in the accounts. Well, quite honestly, because we're not operating the way we were last year. So obviously we're using fewer supplies, especially in the vocational areas. So we're going to use that and help to offset next year's budget. I welcome any questions.
Looks good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Good. Joanna?
Just one. The marketing, I was just wondering, is that because the school store is in operation? Is that because of the school store? Is that why marketing has 99,691 as a balance? Is that because it isn't being utilized?
No, that's because we moved one of the marketing teachers to teach social studies, and I did not utilize that money in the transfer.
It was staffing. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Salaries. Got it. Okay. Yep. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Kara.
You're welcome.
Moving on, committee chairperson. February annual agenda items. We're going to be doing a budget review. That'll be interesting. We have to vote on the 2021 standard mileage rate, which looks like 56 cents per mile. And it looks like they cut you down, Maureen, 1.5 cents.
Not driving much lately.
Saving on car insurance, maybe. And
Yeah. All right. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. LaBella,
Yes.
Mr. Irving,
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Mrs. True,
yes,
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That passes. Subcommittee reports. Executive. We did not meet last month, so there's no minutes, but we did meet this evening, and those minutes will be forthcoming. It was on the budget, so you will be hearing about that. Do we need you want to make a meeting for next month for the executive?
Yes, for 5:30, same time.
5:30?
Yes. before the-
Oh, I see it's down below there, yeah. Okay.
February 10th.
Instructional personnel, Dr. Testaverde.
We have not met, but I keep hearing somebody wants to meet. So I'm going to turn this over to Superintendent Lynch and say, what's going on? What would you like?
I would like to have a meeting. I don't know how January 27th sounds, 3 o'clock.
Okay, let's look.
We would like to review
free.
full new courses in our program of studies for next year, hoping that we're COVID-free and can have a regular school year.
I'm available. I don't know about the other committee, Wednesday, January 27th at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
I can do it.
Okay, that's 2 of us. Joanna?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm just double checking, but yes, I'm going to just say yes. I'll let you know if I have a conflict.
Okay.
I'm good, Joanna.
Okay, that's David. I think that's enough of us. There may be one more person on our committee, I think. Ben, maybe? Ben, I'm
No.
not sure.
Depends on policy.
No policy.
Ben's on policy. Oh, well, let's go for it. We've got 3 of us. That's enough.
Okay. Thank you.
3 o'clock Wednesday, January 27th. On Zoom.
Plant operations. I don't believe there's any need for a meeting.
No, I just want to, again, throw a shout out to Bob Hardy and his crew. The cleaning here and the work that's involved in making sure that we can be safely in this building is amazing. And they're truly doing a phenomenal job. The building's very clean and I think people feel very safe being here. So I'm very happy. So thank you.
It's good to know that they're doing a great job. Salary negotiations, Mr. Early.
Not at this time.
Policy, Mr. Irving.
We have not met at this time, and unless the superintendent has something, I think we're good.
Not at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Meeting dates coming up. Executive Subcommittee, February 10th at 5:30. School Committee meeting is also at February 10th at 6:30, and there is an instructional meeting on the 27th, January 27th at 3 p.m. There is no new business posted. There is no executive session posted. With a motion for an adjournment.
Mr. Chairman, move to adjourn.
Oh, just a minute. Mr. LaBella has a question.
I was just saying goodbye.
Oh, no.
We haven't adjourned yet, Charlie.
How about a second, Charlie?
Putting it in early.
Second.
All right, we got to do a roll call to get out of here. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. LaBella,
Yes.
Mr. Irving,
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Mrs. True,
Yeah.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good
Stay
night.
safe.